What happens if you die without a will? The courts will decide who's going to be getting your assets and then who's going to be in control of managing and distributing those assets out to your beneficiaries. So in terms of who's going to be getting your assets, without a will that will outline how you want your assets to be distributed, the courts will have to decide on your behalf, and they will use the intestate laws of your state. As an example, in Georgia, your assets will get split evenly between your spouse and your kids, with your spouse getting a minimum of 1/3. Get off me. And then if you don't have a spouse but you have kids, your kids will, oh goodness, that fly threw me off. The kids will distribute those assets evenly between themselves. If you don't have a spouse or kids, your parents will inherit your assets. If you don't have parents, your siblings will inherit your assets. And that's generally how it goes with the intestate laws. They vary per state. Now, in terms of who's going to be able to manage and distribute those assets out to those beneficiaries, it's basically going to be a first come, first serve. So if you have one individual randomly who wants to be in control of the management and distribution of your assets, they will file for the letters of administration. If no one else wants to do it, they will give them the letters of administration and they will take over your estate. Now, if there are a couple people arguing over who wants to be the administrator of the estate, typically what's going to happen is the courts will take in both petitions, and then you both have to go to court and present your case on why you should be the administrator of the estate. And it's very likely that you're going to be hiring probate attorneys for each side, and then the probate attorneys will go argue on your behalf and mediate on your behalf, and you're just going to rack up attorney fees, and basically you could potentially wipe out your entire inheritance trying to do that. And so it's much easier just to set up a will to name the executor of the estate, which would be the person that manages and distributes those assets, and then how your assets are going to be distributed out to your beneficiaries. That way everything is clean cut. You don't have anyone arguing, or you have a less chance of people arguing. There's always going to be people arguing, and that will make things much smoother for your family.